Hello! In the previous lesson, we learned how to create bills of resources. Today, we will learn how to set standards for itemized expenses. We will also review the plan calculation of product costs for variance analysis. Before the production of hoverboard Special X1 starts, we assume that the total production cost includes both direct and indirect production costs. Direct costs expressed as quantities are available in the bill of resources. Direct costs expressed as values are available in the documents that define the purchase prices of materials and the cost of work. For indirect costs, we should use the standards of itemized expenses. What are the typical itemized expenses? For example, utility fees, rent, and lease fees, and more. Now we'll calculate the list of all production costs. It includes material, labor, and itemized costs expressed both as quantities and as values. This operation can be used to create a bill of resources or a production order. In case of mass production, it's recommended that you create the bill of resources. And in case of a single or batch production, you should create the production order. For bills of resources, the calculation result is always the same. But for production orders, calculations made at different moments may have different results. For example, if we create a production order for a manufacturing process with a duration over a month, the actual data is used as the planned cost for the past month period. Once ERP supports accounting for two types of expenses: fixed expenses and variable expenses. To create the variable expenses, you just need to specify the amount of itemized expenses for the selected quantity of goods. No special calculations are required. Planned calculation of fixed expenses requires more complex calculations. For example, let's assume that the monthly lease of the 3D printer is €1,000 and the company is to manufacture 20 hoverboards during an unknown period. It's easy to assume that the cost of one hoverboard on the 3D printer lease expense item will be equal to 1,000 divided by 20 is €50. But this is not always true. This will be true only if the company manufactures 20 units during 1 month. If manufacturing takes longer, our calculation becomes wrong. The lease fee is evenly distributed for the cost of production during the period, not for the product release. Please keep in mind that sometimes manufacturing a single product batch takes several months, or on the contrary, multiple batches can be manufactured within 1 month. To handle such situations, once ERP introduces distribution of expenses under the expense item according to the share of the expenses per batch. Information about shares is obtained from historical data. Now let's get to the practical part of the lesson. First, we need to set up production expense standards. To do this, go to Manufacturing, Master Data, Production Expense Standards, and open the Set tab. Click Create to create a new standard. Specify the department, Workshop 2, and the company, SBS Manufacturing. Now let's get back to the system setup. To populate the document with historical data, click More Actions, Fill in. We have no historical data yet. It means we need to provide a manual calculation of fixed expenses. Go to the Fixed Expenses tab and create a new expense item. Enter the following data for the expense item: description, 3D printer lease, expense type, production expenses. Now go to Allocating Compliance Accounting and create a new expense allocation rule. Description, cost allocation for Workshop 2. Select the checkbox, 2 batches. In the Between Batches by Base field, select Material Cost. Click Save and Close. Select the costing item, General Production Expenses. In the amount field, specify €500. In the allocation base field, specify €7,500. In the standard field, the calculated share of this item in direct costs is now displayed. As you can see, it's equal to 6.67%. Now let's move on to creating variable expenses. Average cost of power used to manufacture one product unit in Workshop 2 is €1. Let's reflect it. Similar to the previous step, first we need to create an expense item. Description: electricity for equipment operation. Expense type: production expenses. Go to the Allocating and Compliance Accounting tab and create a new item. Description: electricity for Workshop 2. Select the checkbox to Batches. In the Between Batches by Base field, select Product Quantity considering future releases. Click Save and Close. Please note that the default value in the Cost Type field changed from permanent to a variable. This is because we created these items using different ERP forms, and different settings now apply to each item. Next, specify the costing item, General Production Expenses. Specify the amount, €1. Allocation base, 1 piece. Go to the Allocation Bases tab again. Please note that 2 new bases are now displayed there. Material cost amount appeared after you created fixed expenses. By default, expenses of this type are allocated on the basis of direct costs. Product quantity appeared after you created variable expenses. This type of base has been determined by means of the allocation rule settings, which we set to product quantity considering future releases. This completes setting up the production expenses. Save and close your document. Congratulations! You successfully completed this lesson.